Yeah, baby.
Hey, everyone. Good morning.
Love that music.
We have a guest today. I wonder who put that music together.
I have no idea, but he's a genius. Whoever it is.
Oh, all right. We do have a guest today. So good morning.
Welcome to Unanswered.
Yes.
Thank you.
We do have a mortgage guest this morning. Captain Mortgage.
That's me.
That's you.
Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And this guy knows anything you need. Fantastic. Before we get to that,
Okay.
I had a little something happen to me on this.
Oh, yeah.
listing.
You were talking about that.
It's just a, it comes from the nothing really surprises me category. So maybe I just lived too long. I don't know. But I'm helping around the listing because I do what I got to do to get the listing right. And they had a little flagpole mount pieces of wood that looked like crap that we sprayed, and then I painted
on the house or in the yard? On the house.
On the
okay.
house.
Okay. That has to be right now. It's 4th of July.
Absolutely. And it has one of those mounts that comes with the flags and it was on there. Took all that off, painted the wood, bought a new flag, mounted the flag, put it in, tightened that thumb screw, and it looked fantastic. Left, came back the next day, flag is
what?
The flag is now they didn't rip it off the house.
Someone still thank you for your service?
Calmly went up to the thumb screw and went, I just think I'll take the flag. And they pulled the flag out and walked away. And now I'm combing the neighborhood.
It had to have been the Brits. Had to have been the Brits. We're too close. Too close to July 4th.
I'm just saying, it's like
for those of you that are British,
it's $20 at Lowe's.
It's a joke, guys. Come on.
Unbelievable. Anyway, I just thought
I mean,
from the nothing surprises me.
That's horrible.
It is. It's unbelievable. I had to buy a new flag.
How unpatriotic.
Well, I figured, if somebody would come up to me and say, you know what I really need, Jimmy? I need a flag.
You would have
I just need a flag.
You would have went and
got
Have
this flag. But that's not what happened.
What a shame.
It's unreal, though. People, just when you think you know what's going on with you, everybody steals your flag.
But as a broker, I'm super proud of you for helping the house. How nice. This is what we keep talking about. It's things like this that set your agent apart from other agents. Like, not every agent's going to do that. I'm actually floored somebody went up and stole a flag.
It is flooring.
Like that's literally you could go unscrew it through.
As well.
I thought you were going to say like it flew away or.
Well, that's what we thought might have happened, but I tightened that. I don't know. I'm just.
You got to put some Loctite on it.
Well, I believe him. If you would see his setup for whenever I have this iPad and he has to make it absolutely perfect.
Now get this. So I brought back the flag on my house, put it in there, and screwed it in with a screw. Well, so now you got to bring tools if you want to screw this. If you want to take this.
Well, don't say the address. You might have.
No addresses here.
And I'm assuming your client didn't have any Ring cameras or anything that caught it. What about the neighbors? Did they have Ring cameras that caught it? I'm curious as to who stole the thank you.
About to go look it up. Challenge accepted.
I think it's awful. How horrible.
I'm gonna go Facebook Live when I do it too.
Anyway. So we got 10 over asking.
That's hey, high five. Woo!
Good job.
Good job. Flag or no flag, 10 over asking is great. So did you guys see where Compass is suing Zillow? Well, taking them to court. I shouldn't say suing. That's not true. They're taking them to court. That's not true. There's no suit. They're just taking them to court. Because where we talked about last month with Zillow saying that the houses, if they're not listed with them first, then that's it. You're banned for life. And what did I say? I was like, this is going to end up in court.
Yeah.
It was very quickly. So Compass is taking them to court. So you guys should definitely look that up. I don't want to spend the whole podcast on it because I can. But definitely look it up. Compass is taking them to court. I think it's a great case. I'm glad they are doing it. I am going to voice my opinion on that. It's something that Zillow, again, like I said before, is trying to strong arm. And that doesn't always play well these days.
Big old bully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and we don't like bullies.
Until they get closer with his estimate. That's my complaint. People lean on those estimates like they're gospel.
No, it's mathematical in their system, and
guilty.
you can literally don't do that.
I'm just saying,
don't
guilty.
do that.
I don't have rain.
So yes, you do. You have it through us because we are your agent. But I will say this: they have done that on purpose so that whenever people go into the system, it's automatically, calculated. And that way it looks like their home is worth more. They're going to contact them, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the thing. Do you know that as a homeowner, you can actually go in and change all kinds of things into Zillow without anyone like double checking? If I want to go into Zillow as a homeowner and I want to change my square footage to 6,000 square feet instead of 5,000 square feet, I can.
Oh,
Interesting.
So don't always trust Zillow. You can go in there as a homeowner and change it because you claim your home. Only one person can claim it. That's how that goes. So you claim your home and you can go and change. You can make it 5, 6 bedroom if you want to.
oh, interesting.
So what about when you sell it and it's already claimed by the previous owner? How does that work?
Well, you just have to put in there's a ticket for it. So you can go in and do it and then you prove that you, but still that not only are the estimates off by price, they're off by all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So unless now once it's fed in through the MLS or whatever, it'll auto correct itself. But if not, all those houses that you're looking at that aren't on market or haven't went through a real estate agent, they could be really,
It may not be what you think it is.
It's an estimate at the end of the day.
or it's someone lying
about
their property.
As far as the dollar amount goes, I mean, that's what people have to really understand is it is an estimate. When we say estimate, whether it's my world or your world, it's an estimate.
Yeah. And I like to get how many? Yes, everything. So I don't trust Zillow's numbers.
Well, I don't trust any estimate hasn't put their eyes on the property, done the local research. I mean, it can only be but so accurate that way. That's why a realtor.
Yeah,
looking for a home,
absolutely.
They are local. They will get that.
Yeah. Well, I like to compare it to if you're going to go in for surgery, you're not going to Google online. Yes. To see, you're going to talk to your insurance company and you're going to talk to your doctor's office, right? You're not going to go, oh, let me Google. Oh, by the way, let me find the cheapest one to have my brain surgery.
That's a very good.
Oh, look, there's one at the very end of Florida, close to out of the country. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Or wait, there's one in San Diego.
Or Mexico.
Yeah.
There's cheaper ones down.
That's why I said San Diego. It's right next to Tijuana.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's not where I'm going to go for a major surgery or any surgery for me, honestly.
Well, I would like to launch into the mortgage program by getting your vibe on rate in terms of, I mean, because I know Powell doesn't want to reduce the rates. He hasn't reduced the rates. The economy's doing great. What are we doing right now?
Great
Inquiring
question.
minds want to know.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. That's what I always say. It's a loaded question, but it does. The rates genuinely, they change day by day, sometimes hour by hour. We have these big announcements like inflation reports, jobs reports, and JOLTS reports, and I can keep going. Handful of reports that come out weekly. So that being said, genuinely, I try to push the client into payment more than rate because my first question to you, Jimmy, what do you pay every month? Pay your mortgage payment or do you pay your interest rate? You pay your mortgage payment, right? You're not paying. It doesn't matter if your rate is 20% or 2%.
Is what it is because of my interest rate. So.
For sure, it is. But when we talk about rates, we try to help clients understand that it doesn't matter what the rate is at the end of the day. It matters what your monthly payment is, and are you comfortable making that payment? Because you could have a 3% rate, but if you're trying to buy an $800,000 house and you're not comfortable making that payment, guess what? You're probably going to be super house poor and not even going to be able to go afford a daggone cheeseburger from the local restaurant. So that being said, I'll circle back and actually answer your question now.
Okay.
So
we got time. Man.
Yeah.
Take your time.
No, so it's a great question because I do try to follow the market. I do try to understand what's going on with the market, with the dips and the elevations and everything like that. I'm actually getting ready to take a mortgage course, a certified mortgage advisor course, where I'm still a mortgage loan officer, but getting more towards into not financial advising, but financial understanding truly what the treasury bonds and what the inflation and what it all means when it comes to mortgage rates. It's hosted by Dan Habib and Barry Habib with MBS Highway. Anybody knows anything about mortgages and LOs, they're the top tier of what's going on with the market and things like that. So I'm trying to do my personal education. I always believe that you always have to need to educate CE yourself, even if it's not required. It's still try and do some research, and I know that the world is always changing. So as far as rates go, we're kind of forecasting them to maybe stay the same, maybe go up a little bit, maybe go down a little bit. We are in such a volatile market right now. I'm giving you a politically correct answer, but we are in such a volatile market right now that
they can stay the same, go up or go down.
Just no unanswered.
Well, no.
That's what I want.
Well, the thing is,
I think what he's saying is the fluctuation isn't going to be major either way right now. And that's what they're predicting, for it to kind of be even keel. They could go up or down a little bit, but not major. They're not looking for a 2-point reduction or increase, I think is what he's trying to say.
Correct. It's so volatile right now in the world overall. And, a war could actually help rate in a sense, just like, because and with all the new policies that's coming out with a big, beautiful bill that they're talking about coming out, and they're trying to get approved, that literally when and if that gets approved, that's when we can kind of reopen the conversation of what rates are going to do.
You can have a better prediction.
Because our current president
or estimate
genuinely wants rates to come down, because he knows that helps the real estate market and helps investors and things of that sort. That's where his mindset is with that. So we're kind of like a turning point where we could go this way or this way, or even just the same, obviously. But it's one of those things where if you held a gun to my head and you said, "Hey, what are rates going to be doing in December?" I'd say they're probably going to be relative where they're. They might go up a little bit, they might go down a little bit, but
not
but
a bunch.
Yeah, it's not going to be
Okay.
significant. They're saying in 2 years that rates are going to come down. If they're in the 6s right now, they're going to come down into the 5s. The biggest thing is we have to understand is the rates in the 5s are a normal interest rate since 2001. If we take out 2020, with
Right.
the COVID-19 stuff, if you take it up, the 20-year from 2001 to 2020, before the COVID, average rates were about 5%. So that's a normal-ish rate with where we're at. And I encourage my clients and anybody that's interested in what rates are doing that day, look at what the 10-year and 30-year Treasury bonds are doing. Because the 10-year and 30-year Treasury bonds literally run synonymous with or parallel with mortgage interest rates and mortgage-backed
That's how
securities.
you can see what's going on with the rates.
So whatever the 10-year bond rate is what normal 30-year.
Not the exact number. Like if the 10 years at 4%, that doesn't mean interest rates are at 4%. It just means it's the fluctuation, right? So if it's at 4% and then it goes up to 4.25, then interest rates are up that day.
Yeah.
Mortgage interest rates, mortgage-backed securities, and mortgage interest rates are up that day.
Yeah. Is there a way to like, if you have a mortgage, if you were thinking about buying a house, you should find a great mortgage guy like Captain that's going to work with you and knows all this stuff. So is there a way that a consumer can have you put an alert on rates, and when they get to something that the consumer can deal with, you would alert them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a system, a back-end system for clients that we've closed, and let's just say they closed at a 7% rate.
Yeah.
And we talk about it, say, hey, when rates hit 6% and you can get 6%, we're gonna reach out to you. So we do have that in a back end in our system that it alerts us. It's an email alert when a client hits that milestone. We just have to put it in and say, hey, when John Smith hits a milestone of that we can hit 6% on a rate, then let's do it.
Great.
Yeah.
And so there probably.
No, I'm listening to you guys. I will interject upon certain points, but no, keep going.
Right. So, and I've had so many clients that just totally did not understand, especially first-time home buyers, that didn't understand the whole credit rating, how much that dictates what your rate's going to be when you get your loan, what kind of stuff they need to not do before they buy a house, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Credit rating is very important. At the end of the day, credit rating, sure, it may have some basis or it affects your rate potentially, but the big movers of what your rate's going to be is loan to value, how much money you put down. Are you a first-time home buyer? Are you self-employed? There's a multitude of different things that genuinely affect your rate. So it's not just credit.
If you have a good credit,
it's a piece of the pie,
right?
But it's not the whole pie.
How much can good credit affect you in a positive way?
Obviously, it can help you. It can help you in many ways. It can help you with the rate for sure, but it can also help you when you have your loan to value and your debt to income are high, meaning you're only putting 3% down on a conventional loan and your debt to income is maxed out at 49.99 on a conventional loan. and you have an 800 credit score, guess what? That's a lot easier to get approved than a 711 credit score. Just had that happen recently. Had a client at 5% down, and I'm like, dang, we can't get this approved. You know, he's trying to buy a $500,000 house, but he's got a 711 credit score. And by rule of thumb, we say if you got over a 700 credit score, that's a pretty good conventional borrower.
Right.
But the system did not like the debt to income at 49.9. Didn't like it. Didn't like it maxed out.
So translation, if you've got some bills affecting your debt to income, eliminate some of that before you even go into the process.
Yeah, for sure. But I also really encourage my clients to be careful what you pay off, because a lot of people are their own credit repair person.
Yes, I was getting ready to say that. Like, if you only have one car that you're making a car payment on, that's not the one to pay off, because that can actually help you.
Yeah, and that's why I genuinely encourage people, before they go pay anything off, just call me. Let's put your stuff into the system. I can do a soft pull and just see where we're at as far as qualification goes with your income and your debts. And then we'll put it in there, and then let me help you advise on what to pay off. And if we're on the brink of, you know, say you're a 698 credit score and you want to go conventional, then we get you with your credit repair person, like from Credit Quando, and they can kind of get your stuff rolling and fix your credit, or get your credit score up 20 points, 25 points. And now you're a great borrower. You're over 720 as opposed to a mid borrower or an average borrower.
Is there a rule of thumb about what kind of credit you should pay off? Or is it just you got to look at the
It definitely is a whole picture thing, but the rule of thumb is, let's just say the person has 4 credit cards, 1 personal loan, and 1 auto loan. The auto loan, we just leave it alone. And we have a personal loan that, say, the minimum payment is $500 a month and you owe $5,000. And let's just say those 4 credit cards, let's say you owe $5,000 on the 4 credit cards, but a sum of those minimum payments are only $200. It would make more sense from a purchase power standpoint. It would make more sense from a purchase power standpoint to pay off the personal loan of $5,000 so that you can free up an additional $300 of purchase power per month for the client that is on the brink of the debt to income and not qualifying. And
so
on
it's
all
not
things.
it's not about any particular type of debt. It's about, how's that going to make your debt to income?
Yeah, that's a big portion.
Sometimes it is, because first thing he said was, we're going to leave the car alone.
Yeah.
Because that shows, like, a car and a house have a different weight than a credit card, or, you know, something small like that. So, for instance, my son, he likes to pay everything off.
Yeah.
He just does. And when he was looking for a house, he's like, just pay my car off. And I was like, like, pay it off at like maybe $100, you know, like leave it on there so it's open, which we'll go into that more on another episode. But and his credit's great. I mean, you know, he has a 800 credit score, but he doesn't have a lot of debt because he likes to pay things off. And I'm like, no,
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with paying off your debt. I would never tell somebody not to pay off their debt. However, the credit scores like it if you have some debt. And I had a client who didn't have hardly any debt, and they were like, I don't understand. So you mean to tell me that I have to be in debt to buy a house? I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. It may sound like that, but it's definitely, it's a history, right? So if you don't have any debt, then you don't have a history of paying back a debt. So I always ask people, whenever they maybe challenge me or ask the questions of, oh, I don't understand, or what, why is this? I say, put yourself in the investor's shoes. Let's just say I don't want to borrow $200,000. I just want to borrow $5,000 from you. I want to borrow $5,000 from you. Are you going to check my history of credit? Are you going to check my credit score? Are you going to check to see if I have any outstanding debts, if I have anything in collections, if I got kicked out of my apartment because I didn't pay my rent? Are you going to do that? Most likely, if you're letting somebody borrow $5,000 and you barely know them, you're going to do some type of research. And if they don't have a history of making monthly payments or paying back the people that they owe money to, you're probably not going to let them borrow your money in a small scale of $5,000. Now, elevate that X whatever, and now that you're trying to borrow $200,000 or $300,000 from somebody, you're not paying your bills, or you can't show a history that you've paid bills on time, then I don't really trust you to let you borrow my money. To circle back real quick on what you were talking about the payments, one thing that a lot of people don't know, it's kind of like a loan officer rule. If you have a personal debt, a personal loan, or an auto loan, and it's less than 10 payments remaining, we can actually exclude that debt.
Really?
Yes. So if you have a personal loan,
Look at Jimmy Ray's face.
Yeah,
He's
see?
so excited. He's so
if you have
excited.
a personal loan that's eight, say eight payments left,
Mhm.
and that's $600 a month auto payment, we can actually exclude that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And what
Fun fact.
Even I'm learning something on this.
Finally got a mind blowing second, right?
That's awesome, though.
Wow, that's
yeah,
crazy.
that's really good. So there's always something on Unanswered that you get answered, even if you didn't ask the question, right? So
Yeah.
that's really good. That's
So-
really good info.
Is there an email address scrolling that they can email us questions?
There is
or
not an email, but
comment?
there is a phone number there that you can call Jimmy Ray and definitely find out. There's also the info for my Facebook that you can go on there and find out. So those things are all on there that you can do, and then we can get you connected with Craig and Captain. I'm surprised you didn't wear your hat.
Well, I didn't know what the lighting was going to be like.
Oh my gosh.
I did my hair today. What do I got left of it?
Yeah, men do think about that.
Well, I try not to.
Just saying.
I'm a big brand guy.
Mhm.
I'm not. I could talk brand for an hour. Literally, I love branding. I love marketing. I love all those things because you've heard of the 1 hour because they do great marketing. You've heard of Michael and Son because Michael and Son. You've heard of Paul Cooper Hurley because of great marketing. I'll never forget. I think I told you this story before. I was at an ODU football game, and Cooper Hurley's a big proponent of ODU and ODAP, and I love that about them and anybody supports my university. And the whole student section yelled, Paul Cooper Hurley during the middle of their jingle during a timeout. I said, you've effing won. You've won, Cooper Hurley, because you literally had 2,500 students at a football game yell your name in front of
And sing your
18,
jingle.
20,000 people.
Yeah.
Jingles are catchy.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm a big
Yeah.
brand guy. I gave some shameless plugs to people I don't even know just then, but it's because they do good marketing, and I love marketing. So I joke, I try not to do double brand. So if I do a t-shirt, I try not to do the hat. If I do the hat, I try not to do the t-shirt. That's me mentally, internally. It probably doesn't make a
Kinda
difference.
looks like.
Yeah, it's if you look
Yeah.
close,
If
it
you
is me.
squint.
That's the fact.
It is me. Yeah, it is me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I had a great guy create that logo for me years ago. He did
I
a great
love
job,
it.
for
I
sure.
love
But anyway, so yeah, like
So
I
if
said,
there's one tip that we can finish out and give everybody, because we only have a few minutes left. One tip from a realtor, one tip from a loan officer. What is the one tip with this whole credit and financing and the whole portion of the financial set, not so much
It's
the
going to
house.
sound self-serving.
Yeah.
Obvious. Is to reach out to a realtor to start because all the websites are fine. There's a lot of things you don't get from those websites, or maybe don't understand about what this. To get somebody, it costs you zero until you buy the house, and so it's great to have the professional from the get-go, helping you understand the process, avoiding the pitfalls of the process, but even more importantly, too, having their own connection, mortgage that they've known, they've used, they trust. It's key. It's so key because the whole process needs to be smooth from beginning to end. It's rarely that way, but you want somebody that's going to make it close to that. That's what.
yeah, I mean, spot on. You can go look up how to do you pull your own tooth, right, off the internet, off YouTube. But I'm 10 out of 10 paying a dentist. I'm pulling my own tooth.
Unless you're under the age of 10.
yeah. Tie a string to it, slam the door for sure. But yeah, so I agree with that. I'm a big proponent in hiring professionals to do the things. Sure, we can tinker around and patch a hole or something, but I'm not drywalling a whole room.
Yeah.
Not doing it. I'm a big proponent of time and saving time, and of course, obviously saving money. So the biggest things I got is 5 words: pay your bills on time. Pay your bills on time. On time, pay your bills. So that being said, my biggest thing with anybody I can say, we talked about credit, right? All people are like, oh, how can I get my credit better? How can I do this? My debt to income. Oh, I got these bills. I have to do this, and I got this. And stop. Just pay your bills on time.
Elaborate.
If you pay your bills on
Listen.
time, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, pay your bills on time. That's all I can say. Pay your bills on time. That's the biggest advice that I have after everything we've talked about. Don't worry about what the rates are. Don't worry about anything else except for paying your bills on time, because that's going to really afford you the opportunity to max out your affordability, your purchase power, and literally saving money, not just in buying a house, but in buying a car or a personal loan that's unsecured or a credit card. You're going to get a better score. You can save so much money by having a good credit score. And the first start of getting a good credit score, if I have a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old person listening to this, pay your bills.
Absolutely. Now, my little bit of advice is everybody says, don't pull my credit. I don't want my credit pulled so many times. You do have somewhere around 20 to 45 days, depending on when your payment is due for your items, but which we'll go into in another time as well. But you have an average of 30 days to have as many pulls under one thing that you can get for it to only affect your credit one time. So if you had somebody else already pull your credit to get what your interest rate will be, and he goes to pull your credit, it's not going to affect you twice. It's just going to affect you once if it's in that time frame. So make sure you shop. Make sure you are able to get those 3 estimates and get the one that's best for you. And when you do, go back to if you have a connection with one of them and they say that their interest rate's 6 and the next one is 6.25, you don't have a connection with this one, but you have a connection with this one. Go back to that one, because I'm telling you, the connection that you have also follows through to the transaction. Tell them what you got, see if they can work with it. Even if they can't, connect with them, because they're going to get it to closing, as opposed to the one that you don't have a connection with. It doesn't answer the phone. You can't get a hold of them. They're not going to get to closing. It doesn't matter what the rate is, because they're not going to closing, or at the last second it changes. So that's my advice. You've got 3 advices here. Yes, absolutely. So we're going to have to go. We're at time, but thank you, Captain Morris.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And a lot of good information.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Look forward to next time. Hopefully you invite me back.
Absolutely. He's not at a loss for words.
Maybe he'll wear the hat next time.
So until next time, Unanswered, Thomasina J.
Out.